see him turn his lights off and then on again.
Yeah. And turning right.
If you take this next road on the right here, please. And then
Right in here.
at the end of the road, let's turn right, please. So how are you feeling about these junctions now, these T-junctions? Do you think your position's okay and your timing of gear change? And
Yeah, it's better than it. End left.
And when you get to the end of the road, let's turn left, please.
And turning right.
And if you take the next road on the right. So how are you going to judge whether you can turn in front of this car or wait
I
for
can
it?
go, yeah.
Do you think you could go then?
Yeah.
Did Bob tell you any ways of helping you judge it?
I'll go now, can
Yeah, I think he's stopped for you there, hasn't he? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I? He's changed his mind, hasn't he?
Right, so did you see how dangerous that was? He's a learner, isn't he? We talked about beckoning pedestrians across.
I didn't beckon him.
He beckoned you, didn't he?
No.
And then you were a little bit slow to get going, and then he changed his mind, and it was a bit dangerous in the end, wasn't it? So that's a really good example of why it's not a good idea to beckon another road user. He should have just gone. There was nothing behind him. He should have just gone, shouldn't he? Got out of the way. So, back to the original question. If you're crossing traffic...
Right, if we turn right, then we'll pull over here.
Right, okay, let's take a right turn here. When safe at the crossroads.
And just get me to pull over on the left.
And if you could pull over in a safe place somewhere on the left, please.
How do you feel that one?
Is it recorded?
Yeah.
Crap.
Mhm.
I don't like roleplay at all. I feel like I'm really out of my element.
Well,
It just brings me back to part 3, where he'll do 3 or 4 junctions where there's one thing that's wrong, but everything else is perfect. And then once you've solved that, then he'll move on to something else being wrong, and everything else is perfect. And then something. But real learners aren't like that, and it's just really hard for me to think of it as a real learner.
well, I don't quite agree with what you're saying there, being the problem. You're not proactive, eh?
No, again, reason for that.
Well, I gave you a big clue. Do you remember we were stopped? We just sorted out the left centre position.
Yeah.
And I said, you try and get inside my head a bit. I mean, you never once asked me what do I look for before I turn into these roads, yeah? You should be asking your students that, role play or not role play, yeah?
Yeah,
And did you ever ask me what we've done? Numerous right-hand turns where I had to cross. There was a potential of crossing the path of oncoming traffic. Did you ever ask me once if there was a car coming towards us how I judged it?
not until the end there.
No.
No, but
And if you hadn't met that car there, and let's just say, forget the role play element at the moment, yeah? Let's just say you've got a late lesson with a pupil, and every right-hand turn we've done from major to minor, there was never a car coming towards us, and you drop that pupil off at home. When you think about it afterwards, are you sure that pupil would know what to do if there was a car coming towards him? Or would you be in doubt about it?
Well, if it's someone that I've taught from scratch, then Yes.
No, no,
we'd
I'm
covered
just
it.
taking it as a pupil. Yeah.
Just
would you-
someone randomly off
yeah,
the street.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't know because you've
No,
not
you
seen
wouldn't.
it.
So how would you have found out?
Well, ideally by going to a busier place where there is traffic. If that's not possible, then, like you said, asking what if questions.
Get inside my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if questions? They really are important, aren't they? I was really surprised that I was making turns into these roads, and you never asked me once what I was looking for.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've got a problem with roleplay. I think I can't get the best out of myself because I can't relate it to being a real learner. With real learners, it's different. I can, and even things like you said, oh, you're a bit quiet, you don't speak much, and that's right. Whereas with a real learner, I wouldn't. I'd be asking loads of questions about the road and getting them to talk about this and talk about that and all this kind of stuff. But because you're doing left and right turns and you said stay on subject, I think with an examiner,
Well, I wasn't doing left and right hand turns. I was doing merging. I was doing roundabouts.
yeah, junctions then. But staying on subject, there were lots of things that normally I would have been talking about, but because earlier you said stay on subject, then
But is staying on subject not making the situation a bit easier for you?
for me, to be honest, no, not really. It just limits what I can do, and puts pressure on getting sort of maybe 40% of the whole thing dead right, rather than 90% of the whole thing.
So if I was going off subject, and everything around us was on subject, yeah, every fault that I made was on subject, would you have asked me questions about what I'm looking for before I turn into this road? Would you be asking me questions about if there was a car coming towards us and we're going to turn right, how would I judge it? Be honest.
I think another reason that I'm not doing this very well now is because you're in control of it. You're telling me where to turn, and I don't really know what's coming up, and I don't really know what you're going to throw in and all this. Whereas if this was in another town where I knew the roads, and I could think, right, okay, he's done that wrong, now let's take him here, see how he does that, and take him there, and sort of build on what I know through, choosing a route and all that kind of element of it. I just feel like I'm not in my element at all. I just feel like the control's been taken away from me by the person doing the role play.
Yeah, it's
And it just feels like doing part 3 again, where you've got someone driving around, just running through a list of things that he's going to do wrong. He'll do this, then when he's got that right, then he'll start doing something else wrong that he's never done wrong before, and then he'll start doing this. It's like with the position that you threw in there. It's fine, but by the time you did that, you'd already driven through probably 20 junctions perfectly well. So, it's hard for me to believe that would actually happen in a real lesson. Normally, the person would start doing that from the word go, and then you sort that out. And when they can do that, the coasting would be there as well. But you put that on a back burner until you've got the position right, and then go and check the coasting and so on.
yeah. I mean, obviously, the reason why we've had a gut role play tonight is that you don't know what's going to happen on the day. But if this is the option that you're left with,
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's bad to have a go at it at all.
yeah. If this is the option,
What it's shown me is that I'm going to do whatever I can to get someone to go with me.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if this is the option you have to go with, treat the person sitting in this seat like a learner. Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, we're not in your area tonight. In your area, you will know the area. You'll be given the directions. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're still gonna, it's not a great big problem. You not knowing what's coming up, because I'm giving you plenty of warning what's coming up. Yeah. But what is a great problem is that you're not getting inside the head of the person sitting next to you. Yeah, you're not finding out.
Again, I just feel like I'm restricted in every way.
Well, I'm just saying, if you go role play on the day of your test in Letchworth, in an area that you know, knowing the area is not going to be enough to save you.
No.
You're going to have to get inside his head, yeah? It doesn't have to be happening for you to get inside his head. What if? There might be loads of what ifs. What if there was a car coming towards us? How would you judge it? Oh, providing it don't make him slow, stop or swerve.
Hmm.
And that's the correct answer, unless he attempts to go in front of a car that is coming, and you have to tell him to wait. Then obviously, then you're gonna have to pull him over and ask him how you made that judgment. And if he tells you, "Oh, I shouldn't have made him slow, stop, or swerve," well, he did. So then you'd have to go into the walk across, drive across rule. So you'd have to kind of take it back to a phase 1 stage.
Which is all what I pretty much do day in, day out. Why can't I do that now? I don't know. It's just, I don't feel comfortable. It just sort of brings back memories of part 3s with people dicking me about and deliberately trying to catch me out rather than just trying to do their best. That's the thing. Learners do try to do their best.
Yeah, they do.
And if their best falls short...
And that's the difference between a role play and a real learner. A real learner is not purposely going to try and make mistakes on the subject, yeah?
And they're trying hard and you want to help them, whatever,
Yeah.
whereas the examiner is not. I must admit, I do find it hard when someone's driven, let's say, T-junctions as an example. If you've perfectly emerged from 10 junctions and then suddenly you start doing something that someone might do on a, just let that position there. Why did you do that? You haven't done it before. And then you're throwing a fault in and it's something we needed to work out, reference point for your position, all that sort of stuff. Now, if it was someone's second lesson and they're doing that, that's really obvious to me. That's what I would be doing. But when someone's already driven through 10 and 15 perfect ones, then why has he started doing that suddenly? It doesn't seem real to me.
So obviously I had to give you a flavour of what the role play was about.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, really. And obviously I've got to try and stick the falls in. All I'm saying to you is that if you are stuck with the role play option on the day, which is a possibility, stop, have a look at the video which I'll post for you. Stop and have a think, and think to yourself, well, yeah, I could have done a lot more what ifs.
No, I thought I was rubbish then, absolutely rubbish. That was...
Yeah, but I say just examine your conscience, because don't forget,
Got no lights on it.
the one advantage of role play that you have got is that you know that they will stay on subject, which is MSPSL, yeah. But there just wasn't any what ifs, which made it quite a boring lesson, really.
It was awful.
Yeah, but I mean, it could have been interactive, couldn't it? As I was turning, there's loads of what ifs. I use them myself, even if there's nobody there. What if there was a pedestrian standing on the pavement there? What would you do? Well, standing on the pavement, I'd make eye contact with them. If they see me, I'd carry on with caution.
Yeah, it just wasn't... I don't know.
But I'm just, I know this. It's hard to go back to role play, but if you are actually gonna go, if you are stuck with role play on the day,
I mean, hopefully I shouldn't be. This lad did say he can come, so we'll get that confirmed.
No, but I'm just saying, if you are stuck with role play on the day,
then well, if I am, something's got to change, big style.
Well, then you need to have a look at the video over, and you need to start using the what ifs, yeah. Otherwise, they're going to be all over you like a rash, aren't they? Yeah, they will make it happen. But if you get inside their head, find out what they know. You can be proactive. If there is a car coming towards you and he is turning right, got across the path, simple question: are you going to go in front of that car, or are you going to wait for it? Well, I'm going to wait for it. And then, hang on, let me finish. Yeah, I'm going to wait for it. And then after he makes a turn, Simon, and how do you make the judgment? Well, look, I can't make him slow, stop, or swerve. Done and dusted. But if you don't ask him, and he makes an attempt to go in front of it, he's not going to if it's dangerous, and you're going to have to go, wait. Well, then, you've then got to be reactive, haven't you? You've then got to pull him over. You've then got to talk about the walk across, drive across rule, so he doesn't force the car to slow, stop, or swerve. And then next couple of junctions, you're going to have to talk him through it, isn't it? Make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
But if you just get inside his head to begin with, on approach, that's what they're after. Try it with your pupils over the next few days. Get inside their head. It doesn't have to be happening.
So that's where I'm going wrong, because I do all that with pupils, and it works well. We have good lessons, and it's beyond what they can do, what they can't do.
Yeah, and I have actually seen you do this with me, because people haven't seen us out together before, but we have I have role played a real pupil for you,
Hmm.
and you've been all over me like a rash, and you've been inside my head and outside my head. You've been asking me this and asking me that, and it went really well. But obviously, to let people know who's watching this, Simon's been let down by 2 students already, and maybe let down by a 3rd one, so he may be left with the only option of doing role play on the day. So that's why we've decided to have a go at
Yeah.
it tonight. And yes, it is different.
So this has shown me that if I do end up having to do role play, I'm gonna
You-
need a bit more training for
Yeah.
it, I think. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't. I think it's just a matter of just get inside his head. That's what he's after. Get inside his head. Find out what he's thinking before he gets a chance to do it. It doesn't have to be happening. There doesn't have to be a car coming towards you. What if there was a car coming towards you? What are you looking for before you turn into this road? If there was a pedestrian halfway across the road, would you make the turn or would you wait here? These are the kind of questions they're after. These are the kind of questions you'll be asking your real pupils as well, yeah? Because believe me, they'll learn an awful lot from that. Because these scenarios, you could go through 10 or 15 lessons. If you get a pupil who has a late lesson every day, it might never happen.
That's
They
a
go out on a
good
test
point.
at 10:30 on a Friday morning. Every turning they're going to make a turning into, there's pedestrians stepping on the pavement. They will learn by it, believe me, try it. Right, I'll give that a pause and I'll treat you to a cold drink.